Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, self-confessed drug dealer Kerwin Espinosa takes back his allegations against detained Senator Leila de Lima. Mounting calls to free de Lima, but the prosecution insists this won't make a dent in their airtight case against the opposition senator. De Lima's lawyer, Dino de Leon, joins us live. And later, the Commission on Elections assures safeguards to protect over 65 million Filipino voters amid the threat of another COVID surge ahead of May 9. Comelec Commissioner George Garcia also joins us later on in the program. Mounting calls on social media to free Senator Leila de Lima from her detention. The hashtag #FreeLeilaNow has been among the top trending topics on Twitter Philippines since yesterday, after self-confessed drug dealer Kerwin Espinosa recanted all his previous testimonies linking de Lima to the illegal drug trade. Among those calling for her immediate release include Vice Presidential candidates Kiko Pangilinan and Walden Bello, and senatorial candidates Chel Diokno and Neri Colmenares. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have senatorial candidate Leila de Lima's lawyer, Attorney Dino de Leon. Attorney de Leon, welcome to the source. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Pinky, and to all our viewers. Thank you for having us.
So, Kerwin Espinosa, as mentioned a while ago, recanted his allegations linking Senator Leila de Lima to the illegal drug trade. He said he was coerced to implicate the senator, and this was contained in his counter affidavit submitted to the DOJ. Attorney, first of all, what was the reaction of Senator Leila de Lima upon hearing the news?
Well, the first reaction of Senator Leila de Lima is, ang sabi niya, and I quote, lumalabas na ang katotohanan, because it has always been clear right from the very start, and it's always been our stance. Senator Leila de Lima is the biggest victim of the largest frame-up in the Philippine history. She was politically persecuted by the Duterte administration because she was just standing up for the Filipino people, and she was standing in the way of the violent drug war. So Senator Leila de Lima is happy because at the very least the truth is starting to come out. But at the very least, we are reminded and we are saddened that it took 5 years for this to happen. But what is very clear is the fact that the witnesses that are being used or were used by the Duterte administration in the largest frame-up in the Philippine history is a lot of them are already recanting their testimonies to so that the truth will finally come out.
So in his counter affidavit, Kerwin Espinosa says that any statement he made against the senator referring to Leila de Lima are false and was the result of pressure, coercion, intimidation, and serious threats to his life. Are you at all concerned, or would you like to pursue this line of defense of Kerwin Espinosa? Who could have coerced him and why he did this?
Well, he was definitely forced, and that has always been also our observation. Let's remember that the convicted criminals that was used by the Duterte administration to testify against Senator Leila de Lima were actually all under their custody. In fact, Peter Ko was violently stabbed and fatally stabbed. His lungs was even pierced in that stabbing incident 3 days before he was asked to testify before the House of Representatives. What does that mean? It means that, of course, all of these criminals are worrying about their safety, or at the very least can get concessions from the executive so that they may be able to testify against Senator Leila de Lima. So we understand the situation of Kerwin Espinosa. It doesn't justify it, but we understand completely that all the things that he was doing at that point in time was also to safeguard him. And if you're going to take a look at the affidavit, his family. It wasn't just him who was being threatened. It was also his family, which is why
threats to his life and family members. Right. It said threats to his life and family members from the police who instructed him to implicate the senator. That's why I wanted to ask you, are you wanting to pursue, possibly talk to the camp of Kerwin Espinosa and find out exactly who pressured and who coerced him?
We were very happy that it was Kerwin Espinosa himself who recanted his testimony with the assistance of his counsel, and his counsel was the one who called for the press conference. Of course, we will be in touch because there are specific details, or we have to find out in greater detail how they exactly orchestrated this destabilization attempt against Senator Leila de Lima, this largest frame-up in Philippine history, so that we may be able to pursue those people who are behind it. We know already, and of course, we've made our own investigations, and we have leads as to who are the authors, exactly the authors and the personalities
And who are they?
behind this largest frame-up in Philippine history. I'm not at liberty right now to discuss it. In due course, we will find out. We will first have to extract the necessary information from the witnesses who are from the witnesses themselves. In due course,
Okay.
we will be able to expose them soon.
Attorney, I asked that because I look back at the Senate investigation wherein Kerwin Espinosa showed up. Hindi ho ba? And I remember that was in 2016. Sabi po ni Senator Leila de Lima sa kanya ito. When they were there in that investigation, both Kerwin, Senator Leila were present. Ang sabi po ni Senator Leila doon, it would be pointless basically for her to ask any questions because she said that his testimony was done under duress. She even went on to say that, may God forgive you for all your sins and all the lies against me. Sabi niya, I forgive you. Number one, sir, has she really forgiven Kerwin Espinosa even way back?
Hello?
Yes, attorney, did you hear my question? I seem to be losing my connection with Senator Leila de Lima's lawyer, attorney Dino de Leon. We will try.
Yes, hello.
Okay, sir. Okay, attorney,
Yes, I can
sabi
hear
ko po kasi kanina nagharap sila in 2016 si Kerwin Espinosa at si Senator Leila de Lima. At sabi niya it was pointless for her to ask questions sa kanya dahil daw yung testimony niya was done under duress. Sabi niya, may God forgive you for all your sins and all your lies against me. I forgive you. So to this point, until now, na patawad na ho ba niya talaga si Kerwin Espinosa?
Hello. Sorry, I got disconnected again. Can you repeat that?
Okay, napatawad na ho ba ni Senator Leila de Lima si Kerwin Espinosa? Because I believe even contained in his affidavit was the undersigned apologizes to Senator Leila de Lima.
Senator Leila de Lima has long forgiven her persecutors and tormentors. In fact, in one of the interviews with CNN, she has categorically stated that she has mellowed as a person. But forgiveness is different from seeking justice. Senator Leila de Lima is prepared to fight for justice precisely because she knows for a fact that the greater picture does not just involve her, but the entire justice system. She cannot afford to not pursue the cases against her tormentors and persecutors because this sets a bad precedent that they can just frame up somebody and they can just easily get away with it scot-free. So yes, Senator Leila de Lima has forgiven them, but will pursue justice at all costs.
But does that mean that she will file a case against Kerwin Espinosa?
Well, we are exploring our options, of course, because if Kerwin Espinosa is starting to cooperate, and as we know, we have remedies available before the law to actually be able to find out who are the people who should really be penalized. Kerwin Espinosa is a mere pawn in this political persecution of Senator Leila de Lima. He was just used by the administration. He was just used by President Duterte, who himself categorically stated that he will destroy Senator Leila de Lima in public. So a mere pawn cannot be the one who should be held ultimately liable. We can actually, of course, forgive Kerwin Espinosa, perhaps consider no longer pursuing any charges against him because he's already cooperating for so long as he will continue to testify and tell the truth.
It's important, though, to find out what his recantation, what kind of value he has, the recantation he has on the case of Senator Leila de Lima. Why? Because Kerwin Espinosa apparently is not a witness nor a respondent doon po sa two pending drug cases against Senator Leila de Lima. So in the legal aspect, sir, meron ho bang value itong sinabi ni Kerwin Espinosa, yung kanyang recantation?
Well, we were able to see the response of the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice should not kid us and should actually do the right thing. The Department of Justice is called the Department of Justice because it plays a crucial role in the dispensation of justice. They have to take a look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is showing up already, and it's already exposing itself. And the bigger picture is the fact that convicted felons, convicted criminals who are under the custody of the executive department were used by the Department of Justice itself and by the prosecution to make sure that they would be able to torment and silence and gag Leila de Lima into submission. So let's not kid ourselves that, in fact, just because they did not include Kerwin Espinosa for deals that we don't know in the two pending cases, that does not necessarily mean that this testimony is valueless, because in the greater scheme of things, the entire picture is showing already. And it's not just Kerwin Espinosa. Peter Ko, again, that they used in one of the pending cases, was stabbed violently prior to testifying. So that particular circumstance corroborates the testimony of Kerwin Espinosa that indeed they were violently threatened. We can also take note of the fact that Capones, just last week, there was supposed to be a hearing, and Capones, who is also a self-confessed drug lord, but what is not being prosecuted by the Department of Justice, even though we filed cases against him, did not show up. And the claim of the prosecution was it's because of security concerns. What are the security concerns? Well, in fact, it is the government who has custody of their own witness. So what is it really? What's happening? So it is the entire picture that we have to see. And this testimony of Kerwin Espinosa actually fits into the real picture. And the real picture is the witnesses are under threat, are under duress, and they're being violently threatened. Not only them, but their families. So yes, this play a crucial role in taking a look at the entire picture altogether.
Even if he's not a witness or a respondent, that's my question.
Even if he's not a witness, he can be our witness. He can be our witness. So he may not be the witness of the prosecution, but he can be our witness, considering that he is now cooperating. We're not yet in the defense evidence in chief. So easily, just so that we can paint the picture, the very clear picture that indeed Leila de Lima was prosecuted. It was a well-orchestrated, sinister plot against her using the entire machinery of the state. Even if he is not the witness of the prosecution, he can be our witness to paint the clear picture of this clear political persecution of Leila.
And lastly, are you planning to use him as a witness for Senator Leila de Lima?
We are, of course, we are considering that at this point in time. So it is the responsibility of the Department of Justice and the government to make sure that he is safe, to make sure that his testimony remains to be intact, because the role of the executive branch is to execute the law. The role of the Department of Justice is to ensure that justice prevails. In fact, the Department of Justice should henceforth already study their case once again, and if they see that indeed all their witnesses have been coerced, they should be the ones to move also for the dismissal of the case, or at the very least not oppose any dismissal, because the picture is now clear. Let's remember, this is a sworn statement of somebody that they used to testify against Leila de Lima, who is now recanting. That should hold a huge weight in their consideration of what must be done in the greater interest of justice.
Attorney Dino de Leon, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you all.
And coming up, Comelec formalizes its deal with KBP for their sit-down. Interviews with presidential and vice presidential candidates. Comelec Commissioner George Garcia tells us more after the break. Please stay tuned.